Hi everyone, and welcome back to Holistic Hacks. So I am gonna try and keep it short and sweet. Today we are gonna be talking about fear, and we are really gonna be focusing on the psychological side of things rather than its definition and stuff like that. And I kind of want to touch on the reptilian brain and the flight, fright, freeze mode. Yeah, and yeah. So I remember reading a quote that said, if you're scared, do it scared. And honestly, I think that was the best advice I'd ever read. It was a meme, actually. I think it was the best advice that I ever read. And I really hope that that touches somebody else too, because it really did make me think, okay, what's the worst that could happen? And you start listing all the worst that could happen. And it's like, okay, but is that really going to happen, or is that part of my anxiety? And when you start pushing yourself, you start to realize that you're stronger than you thought you were. Yeah, that's the number one thing. I really, if you don't get anything else out of this message, what I want you to understand is that you are way stronger than you think that you are. And I know when you're fragile, yeah, whether it's physical health, whether it's mental health, you're in a fragile state. You don't see that at the time, but when you continue putting in the work, man, you reap the rewards, right? So before I digress, right, the main, like I was saying, I would have never discovered my capabilities, right? And so please take that message. Yeah. Now, when you're looking at fear, and we're looking at the brain and the reptilian brain, right? So when we were evolving and we're still at the hunter-gatherer stage and everything like that, the reptilian brain, I think people say, sort of located at the back of the brain. It's the oldest part of the brain. And during that time when the brain wasn't fully formed the way it is now, um, your brain pretty much had very basic survival instincts, and that's it. Yeah. And with fear, it would incite the fear response, which is flight, fight, freeze. Yeah. And those will be your initial responses to danger. And as a result, that is trapped here and it's innate in us, right? And so this is what really holds us back from pushing ourselves when we're scared. Yeah. And don't forget that that function is there for a reason, because there is genuine stuff that you need to be afraid of, like, and that is what that functionality is for. But at the same time, when you're struggling with a lot of things, when you've gone through so many different things as well, you become afraid of these things. Like, I know for myself, I became afraid to even just get out of the bed. I became afraid to even just get out of the house, because I would either faint or I would had a big flare and I couldn't get back home and whatever, right? But the point is, you become afraid, and so your brain remembers that, because its functioning is to remember it, to keep you safe, right? Because as far as it's concerned, danger. So you have to really push past that. And if you looked at the last episode that we did last week, we spoke about the neural pathways. Yeah, this is where it's time for you to start creating these neural pathways, these newer pathways for yourself, right? Look, I'm going on a little bit of a rant now, but the point that I'm trying to make is, don't let fear hold you back. The minute that you do, you you don't give yourself a fighting chance and you hold yourself back. It's that simple. And if you really want to thrive, you really want to move forward, then it's down to you to start doing the little steps to push yourself forward. I'll be attaching the goal planner here, so that you can start looking at our educational platform and everything, and look at how you can start taking these little steps, right? Don't be scared. And if you're scared, do it anyway.